We are currently following the strategic approaches of ProPix and Investing Pro on my channel, and numerous individuals are curious about the distinctions between the Pro version and the Pro Plus version because they are interested in purchasing it. So let's conduct a comparison of these. Now, if you are watching this from a country other than Colombia, which is where I am located, the currency might appear differently for you. It shows up in Colombian pesos for me, but it might appear in dollars, euros, yen, or any other currency for you. That's why it will look different here, and if it's in another language, it might also appear differently. It appears in Spanish for me because I am currently located in Colombia, which is why it looks this way for me. However, I will explain everything to you, don't worry. Now, beyond the price, because evidently the Pro is cheaper than the Pro Plus, we also need to consider something else, which is that we have the option of a monthly subscription. I don't recommend it because these strategies make sense when we commit for at least a year, or the best strategy, which is for 2 years, and it turns out much cheaper. Obviously, the 2-year option is cheaper in the long run, and you're saving more money. You'll see in the figures how they change. As I mentioned, in your case, it will change. Another important thing is to remember that I always say I leave a discount code in the description that really gives you a good discount, and right now there's going to be Black Friday if you're watching this video on time, and it will be at an even bigger discount, so that's great. Now, what is the big difference? Let's take a detailed look at it. Notice that the one on the left tells you 32 ProPix IA strategies, including one from Mexico, because it appears as if I am located in Mexico. Now, the additional aspect that emerges is the presence of 88 ProPix AI strategies, which include 5 premium selections specifically from the United States. What exactly is this and how does it function? Well, at this point, I already have my Investing Pro subscription preloaded, and I possess this Pro Plus version, this particular one right here. What occurs is this particular section of ProPix AI essentially functions as follows. They provide you with a category or a page where you're able to search for various investment strategies. Based on artificial intelligence, they inform you month by month or quarterly depending on the nature of the strategy about which stocks to invest in. Ultimately, it is up to you whether you choose to follow the strategy exactly as it is or if you opt to analyze the stocks more thoroughly and make your own informed decisions. What appears to be the problem? If I come over here and we scrutinize, for example, the United States, all of these will become apparent to me, whereas if you obtain the Pro, fewer selections will be apparent to you. Notice 32 strategies here with ProPulse, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, South Korea, Denmark, Spain, France, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Israel, Italy, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, Poland, United Kingdom, Singapore, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, Taiwan, and Turkey. Why do I emphasize this so much? Because, and especially lately, I've seen that they've been adding more and more countries, and this generally comes here in the Pro Plus. What does this country mean? Basically, the stock market we are going to invest in, for example, if you are in Germany and want to invest in Germany, you need to have access to German stocks and strategies, and these are obtained with the Pro Plus. Although with the Pro, it can also be possible, they might give you one strategy per country, but not all of them, and lately they have been adding more and more countries. That's why I would prefer the Pro Plus, and that's the big difference. Now, how do these investment strategies function? As I was explaining to you earlier, you enter and observe that each one possesses various types of conditions. For instance, this particular one is labeled as Champions of the German Industry, meaning I invest in the primary industrial corporations of Germany. This strategy concentrates on companies that are leaders in innovation and are distinguished for their manufacturing excellence. Well, there you can observe the performance in the test they conducted last year, which was 45.6, and the total return of 192.7 over a span of 5 years. And take a look at this. As I mentioned before, here you will find a list of stocks that you can purchase and sell. So the concept is that if, for instance, you initiated this month, then you declare on the 1st of November, these are the stocks, then it instructs you to add these. So ideally, and how this is structured, is that you take, for example, $5,000 or, well, the amount of money you desire. In fact, let's make it significantly larger. Let's open the calculator and place it here. Observe, the title will consistently indicate a number. That is the number of stocks that this strategy will consistently have. In this particular case, it will be 15 at the most. So it might be that I say, well, I have $10,000 and I want to try this strategy. I divide it by 15. So ideally, each stock would carry $666 in this case, or euros, well, depending, because in Germany it would be euros. Therefore, if the investment strategy recommends incorporating this KGX stock, then I proceed to include it and invest in alignment with my strategy of 660 scalars, ensuring that everything maintains a consistent average purchase price. That is, the amount of money here will indicate the price at which they acquired it when this strategy became effective this month. Nevertheless, it might be somewhat higher or lower for you because this is at the very start of the month and you'll receive this information on the initial day of each month. Now, also super important, remember that this strategy has been in place for a long time. Look at all this time. Look at everything that appears here. What many people do is they come in and say, well, if these are the 15 stocks, then I'm going to invest in these 15. If you're telling me that with $10,000, it's $666, then I'm going to invest $666 in each one. 166, and no, why? Because it may be that, for example, this NDX stock, this strategy was taken, I don't know, 2 years ago, and the stock has been invested in for 2 years. Well, you are not going to have the same performance as the strategy because they already invested in this stock 2 years ago, for example. Hypothetically speaking, in your particular situation, what you could potentially do is invest in this, and this due to the fact that you commenced on November 1st. Subsequently, if in the following month you assume you invested on October 1st and you invested in one of these 4, observe Tanza LX in one of these, and it turns out that in the subsequent month they advised you to sell one of those, well then you proceed to sell it because it constitutes a part of your portfolio. By executing it in this manner, over the course of the months, you will essentially have the 15 stocks that are present here because you initiate from this point and each month it gets updated and sold. They even sell stocks that they have retained for numerous months, which you do not sell because you never possessed them in your portfolio, but when they eliminate an older one, they incorporate a new one. This implies you will ultimately end up having a greater number of stocks, and that is the strategy itself. And well, I went on a bit with this, but basically it was so you could understand it. Secondly, regarding Warren's consultations, for those who don't know Investing Pro, well, why can it use or offer Investing Pro? Because they are a platform with a long history of financial data. Look, they have a 10-year history of financial data from companies. So why is this important? Because they possess an additional feature here known as Warren AI on the left-hand side when you access the platform, and this serves as a sort of ChatGPT of artificial intelligence, but it is specifically concentrated on all the comprehensive information that investing provides. What distinguishes the two? In the Pro Normal version, you are allotted 50 queries each month, whereas in the Pro Plus version, you are granted 500 queries per month. This allows you to inquire about anything here, such as asking about the prevailing market trends. For instance, let's examine the trends of the US indices. Kindly provide a comprehensive examination of the performance trends concerning the primary US indices and commence evaluating all the news, along with all the financial data available on investing.com. This platform offers you genuine, up-to-date information that is accurate and current in its entirety. So, well, it's basically based on that, and that's how it works. And so look, it's really good there, so you can already do an analysis, you can ask it more questions, which is why if you want to do more detailed analysis, you need the 500 queries, while in the normal version there are only 50. Now, the next thing, let's say you don't like ProPix because you say you want to invest on your own, with your knowledge, with your strategy. Is that okay? Then you also do not favor Warren because you wish to explore alternative platforms. Well, there exists a third tool known as Filter, where you can effortlessly and straightforwardly search for stocks that fulfill the criteria you are seeking, and for that, there are predefined strategies like these over here. In the standard and basic version, it encompasses merely 35 predefined strategies, but if you opt for the Pro Plus, you gain an additional 30, totaling 65. And what exactly are these? Essentially, they are mathematical formulas, investment strategies. So if you desire stocks with exceptionally high dividends that have reached their lowest point in the past year, or that have recently experienced a substantial rise based on specific analyses or strategies of prominent investors, you can discover all of that here. This enables you to filter stocks you wish to locate to invest according to your personal strategy. That's the distinction between these two, and indeed you can configure it however you prefer because you can create your own filters. They don't necessarily have to be the ones displayed here, it can be based on your preferences, and literally it's almost any data. If you already possess an investment strategy from before and wish to apply it, you can do so and configure it here. Ultimately, the final aspect that differentiates these two subscriptions is the metrics for analyzing stocks. You can find this in the Data Explorer section, and these are all the metrics that appear here. As it states here, in the Pro we have only 100 metrics, and in the Pro Plus more than 1200, which are all listed here. So once more, if you wish, for instance, to compare a stock, say Apple against its total debt, you can observe how the total debt has increased, how it has decreased, how it has performed. They provide you with a precise analysis, and you can search for various types of indicators that you prefer. As I mentioned, this is based entirely on what you wish to do. This is more autonomous because some individuals say, well, the subscription is merely to inform me what to invest in and that's it. But no, it can genuinely assist you with your own strategies, simplifying the work so you don't have to manually search through 22 pages, but instead it informs you right there and you can execute it. Remember that if you're interested, I've left a link to Investing Pro in the description along with the discount code, which will also appear as Mas Finanzas. It's practically there on the page for you to see in the description. And if you want to purchase this, remember that there are huge discounts at the moment. Until our paths intersect once again, goodbye, farewell.